Hello.
Hello. Welcome to another MSI Insider live stream.
Welcome.
I'm here with the one, the only.
Mike Lee.
Yeah,
Mike,
you remembered your own name.
Michael.
That's good.
What are you guys building today? We're building a...
Well, you wouldn't expect it from MSI, but we're building a PC today.
Yeah, PC, not a laptop, PC.
With one of our new liquid coolers, the MAG CORELIQUID I Series. So we have it right here in front of us. This is the MAG CORELIQUID I 360 white. So as the name already says, 360. So 360mm radiator, 3 fans on top of it. And in white, because the whole build we will do is in white. You also see some more of the components right there in front of my kit. So we have our Z790 Project Zero motherboard. And we will also show you one of our new Project Zero cases, and that's the MAG Pano 100R PZ. And in this case, that's also the white version, of course, to match it all nicely together. Before we start, we have a nice giveaway.
Yeah.
So this was last week's topic, right?
It was.
I wasn't there, but it was Star Wars Outlaws.
It was supposed to be my topic, but then I got sick for the entire week.
You didn't want to play Star Wars?
No, I did, but I got sick.
Are you into Star Wars?
No.
Me neither, but still, if you are, and if you want to have a chance to win the game Star Wars Outlaws, was released very recently actually, then participate in our giveaway. Go to msi.com/2/insider, or if you're watching on Twitch or YouTube, you can also follow the direct link. There are spams in the chat once every 5 minutes, I believe it is. That will lead you to Gleam. Within Gleam, you can perform certain actions. The more actions you perform, the bigger chance you'll have to win. And if you're a returning visitor, also make sure to claim your loyalty bonus, and you will have a slight edge in the giveaway. You only have to sign up once. Throughout the stream, we will do several drawings for multiple game codes.
Uplay or Epic Key?
I have absolutely no idea, to be honest.
It's actually the EA, no, Uplay, wait.
There used to be Origin, but I think now it's called EA something. Is that the one?
EA Play, I think? If I remember correctly, not sure.
I'm not 100% sure which launcher, but we will definitely send you instructions with it, so then you will find out which launcher it is. So yeah, make sure to participate if you want to have a chance to win the game.
Yep.
If you're not into Star Wars, that's fine as well. Next week we may have another giveaway again. Not sure, or maybe Star Wars game.
Probably again. Yeah. Can you tell me what the I stands for?
That's a good question. Actually, I don't know. Yeah. I don't think we have a specific.
Isn't it for the infinity mirror?
That could well be. I haven't verified, so I'm not 100% sure, but it could very well be because, well, my kit is already spoiling the content of today's topic, but it has a nice infinity mirror. So that could very be the eye, but I haven't double checked actually if that's the official meaning for the eye.
Oh, I thought that what it was for.
It would make sense if it was.
No, it is published by Ubisoft, but I forgot what their Uplay? I think it's called Uplay.
I think it used to be. I think now it's Ubisoft Connect or something. I think they rebranded it. They added the changes all the time. Like Origin became EA Play or something, and then Uplay became Ubisoft Connect, and Steam is still Steam.
Yeah.
Epic Game Store is also still Epic Game Store.
Ubisoft Connect.
Yeah,
it might be that one.
Yeah.
No,
that could very well be.
I haven't been gaming that much, so I forget about them. Yeah, Ubisoft Connect. Okay, we got that cleared up.
But even though you haven't been gaming much, you did have something cool and nerdy. Maybe you can quickly show. Because I was very impressed by your water bottle that gives you extra FPS.
Yeah, so so I got this water bottle for my birthday, and it actually has RGB. So whenever I need to take a sip,
or whenever you don't have sufficient FPS in the game, you just switch on a water bottle.
And I can actually change the color as well to whatever I want.
But if you do it in green, it becomes invisible with our chroma key.
Oh, look. But yeah, it's an RGB water bottle.
I knew you were into RGB, but I didn't know it was this hard.
Yeah, it was one of the key selling points.
Of the water bottle.
Yep.
So does it also have less capacity because of the RGB?
No, because you can actually remove it.
Okay, fancy. It's cool water bottle.
But I have to charge it, and it's weird when I tell friends and family, I have to charge my
My
water bottle
yeah,
first.
that's a bit weird indeed. You should have like a solar panel or something.
Yeah.
But then you have to come outside.
Oh,
other issues. Warren Hard Buffalo is asking, will there be an X870E Ace? Maybe, maybe not. Not in the first wave, but could be that later on.
Who knows? Who knows?
Sesk also says RGB makes it go faster, for sure. Color according to flavor of the content. That's actually pretty good. If it
I could actually do
that.
that.
Put like
yeah.
orange juice in and it
then
becomes
it's orange.
orange.
Yeah. Is it only charging for RGB or does it also have other functions? It has other functions. So whenever you take a sip, it actually measures how much you're drinking. And it also
This is one hell of a
sets
nerdy
up-
bottle.
it sets up a program for you, like, oh, how much do you weigh, how tall are you, and then it
So
calculates
now you
for
also drink beer and stuff from that thing, so it also measures.
how much beer can I drink. No, but it tells me how much water I need to drink, and then it measures it every time I take a sip. So it's
Rio
quite
Rex
nice.
is asking how to enter the giveaway. Go to msi.com/2/insider, so that's a link you see over there. Or you can go, because you're also watching on YouTube and Facebook, I see. But on YouTube, at least we have a bot active, and once every 5 minutes, it will put the link to the giveaway in the chat directly. So you can just click that link and it
What
should
the
work.
hell, RGB water bottle? Yeah, I love RGB so much. I have RGB on everything.
So RGB glasses one.
When it comes out, I'll buy one.
I think you have like these party glasses with, but they're probably not proper.
You know what I
glasses,
should do? Like add LED strips.
And then with Mystic Light Sync
connect
support.
it to like a power bank.
And then with ambient link, so it responds to your game. Okay, let's maybe get into it, because we have a lot of stuff to talk about, and of course we still need to do a full build. But first we want to introduce you to this new liquid cooler series. By the way, if you have any questions in between, just drop them in chat and we'll try to answer as many as we can. So the CoreLiquid I Series, my kid already spoiled everything, but it has a nice infinity mirror. Here you see a bit of the design process. So it has like a triangular kind of vibe to it. I think it looks pretty cool. It's quite different from most liquid coolers which you see in the
That
market.
is
Of course,
true.
most are round and
Yeah.
some square ones, but triangular is relatively rare in the all-in-one liquid cooler world so far. But I kind of like it, but not sure if you guys agree. Yes, indeed, there is also a B650 Project Zero motherboard, and that one is indeed a micro ATX.
Do we have that one here? We do actually, right?
No, I don't have a sample of that one there. That's the B760 you're
Oh,
referring
okay.
to. That's also
Yeah.
a micro ATX
Yeah.
one. But we definitely also have a B650 model, so if you want to go AM5, that's an option as well. But indeed, it is a micro ATX one. Maybe in the future you can potentially expect more Project Zero motherboards, but that's all I'm going to say about it. The
spoil too
infinity
much.
mirror. So it has a dual-sided infinity mirror, which means it's not only present on the front, but it basically goes around the edge of the block. And I think it gives a pretty cool effect. So basically what an infinity mirror does is it basically looks like infinite. Yeah. Like it doesn't stop,
Yeah,
basically.
an infinite mirror.
Yeah. And you get that with the triangular shapes and the RGB illumination as well.
Yeah.
So that's the infinity mirror.
Personally, I'm more a fan of putting like a image in my water cooler. I'm that type of person.
Yeah.
Yeah. Make it more personal.
So do you then also
personalized.
have cat videos in your liquid cooler?
No,
No?
no.
That's a pity.
More of a dog person.
Oh my goodness. Okay, that was the end of the stream, guys. Goodbye. See you next week.
I think he's gonna beat me up. Well, you should like cats. No.
Of course you should. Maybe it's a good time to unbox it and show some stuff on the model itself. So, Mankit, the honor is all yours to do the unboxing. Maybe you can switch to the other camera.
Yeah. Or we can switch to a mobile camera.
Also possible.
To you, the honor.
Yes.
It should
Oh.
flip.
Hello. Hello. Yes.
Yes. So this
There we
is the
go.
box. Very nice. Maybe you know the answer to that question.
Pandora Grey is it a proprietary pump or is it an ATX Gen 8? It's not an ATX one. So the OEM for this liquid cooler is actually Cooler Master, like our CoreLiquid I Series.
Wait. Ta-da!
So before we had several models, the R series, the C series, and the P series were from Appeltech. Then the E series and this I series are the Cooler Masters, the OEM. And then we, for example, have the K and the S series. Those are ATX made.
I don't know what this is, but...
You don't know what that is?
No.
You've never seen that with a liquid cooler?
No.
Chad, do you know?
My liquid cooler is quite old, I think.
Okay.
4 or 5 years.
This is the fan cable management cover, but we will talk more about that later.
Okay.
Let's first continue the unboxing.
This is the pump head. Quite cool, actually. It gives me that...
And this is the dual-sided part, so it continues around the edge.
Yeah. Gotta be careful, gotta be careful. Pull this one out. Okay.
What do you notice, Monkit, when you unbox this? What is different than with those were previous liquid coolers?
3 fans?
We have more 360mm liquid coolers.
Not that many cables are there.
The fans are already on there, Monkit.
Oh,
Usually they're in the box separately.
Hey.
But now you don't have to put them all on again. So this is for the lazy builders. Pre-installed fans. Yep. You see Pandora Grey?
Okay. Hey,
Good job.
I haven't worked with liquid cooling that much lately that I thought this was pretty much a given, but apparently not.
No, it's definitely not. So this is the block. There is still some peeling stuff on there, so that we can do later.
What I do find cool is this one. It's like a kit with everything in. So it has some cooling paste, it has the thumb screws, and I see...
And also if you're not using certain stuff, because for example you're using either AMD or Intel, the stuff you're not using you can keep in the box so you don't lose it.
You can show them, this is pretty cool. I actually like that. It comes in a like small case. Anything else inside? No.
Then I'm gonna hand this over back to you, and we can go to the main camera again.
Yes.
Yep. There we go. Or maybe the close-up one, the one right there. Yes, perfect. Because then we can show some stuff up front. We already quickly mentioned it. It's the cover for the cable management.
Ah, okay, now I
How do you think this works?
You
Here, put it on.
click it
Super
on,
easy.
I think. Wait, so this will be the front, but it should work on both sides, right?
It works on both sides, yeah.
So it depends.
So it depends on how you put it in your case.
Okay, so it depends on your orientation.
Yeah.
I think here.
Yeah, you just click it on.
Nice.
Can you turn it a bit to the camera?
It's kind of like a clean look.
So this is what it then looks from the side. So you don't see all the...
You don't see any cables at all.
And also not the fan screws and all those kind of things.
Yeah, it's a nice click. It gives me a feeling of, okay, this is secured. I don't have to doubt if I clicked it in or
So
not.
it basically clicks on the screws that hold the fan to the radiator.
Oh, nice, nice.
So they go all the way through the fan into the radiator, and that's where you click the cable management cover in.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I like the fact that these are white, like really
Everything's white, yeah.
similar to the...
Okay, can you go back to the slides?
Yes.
So here you also see how it works. You just click it on there, so it's compatible on both sides. So depending on how you want to position the liquid cooler in your case, you have this fan cable management cover available. And as mentioned before, the fans are already pre-installed out of the box. Of course, you can still take them off. So if you want to have a different configuration with your fans or replace the fans or whatever, then you can, of course, adjust it to your own liking. But by default, they are mounted in the way that would be the most common way for people to use it, and that's usually if they put it in the top of their case. For example, if you want to have them as intake fans in the front of your case, then you would place them to the other side and have them pull the air into the case. So that's all dependent on preference. Then the Easy Connect. This liquid cooler, instead of having separate PWM and addressable RGB cables for each of the individual fans, they're all bundled together, and basically you can connect them at once. So if you, I'll go to the other one's fine. This is the cable coming from the fence, and you see a PWM header and an addressable RGB header, and these two connectors will power all three fans. So you don't have 3 PWM cables anymore, you don't have 3 separate ARGB fans anymore. You can connect them all at once. Usually you would group them anyway in terms of fan control because they're on the same liquid cooler. For the pump, you do have a separate one, so that one is inside the water block. That's of course because that one requires a different voltage. So that one is controlled separately from the fans. So also pump and fans can be controlled separately. Then you also have an addressable RGB plug and an additional one so you can link it through to other addressable RGB devices. So that could, for example, be this one. So if you interconnect these, then you only need a single addressable RGB header on your motherboard. So not all separately anymore. So that's kind of how it works. Then a new feature of this model, so we haven't had this before on any previous models, is the uni bracket. The people who've seen our live stream from Gamescom a couple of weeks ago may already know what this is. But basically it is a pre-installed bracket on the CPU block. So you can see it right here. And this one is compatible with both Intel and AMD sockets. So they're usually with previous generations of our liquid coolers, you had like separate brackets that you had to click on. And if you were using an AMD CPU, you had a certain bracket. If you were using an Intel CPU, you had another bracket. Now it is one uni bracket and it is compatible with both Intel and AMD. Of course, the screws can differ a little bit, but that's where you got this nice package for. But this way also you cannot accidentally lose the bracket, for example, if you switch platforms. So maybe you have an Intel system now and you switch to AMD later, but in the meanwhile you lost the AMD bracket maybe. I've definitely heard that from a lot of people happening, and then it can be quite difficult usually, especially for older liquid coolers to get spare parts.
Yeah, happened to me before. Do you happen to know if I can use this bracket on older water cooling or not?
I think the support we have later in the slide, I don't know exactly how far back it goes. I don't know how far were you thinking?
4 or 5 years?
I think that should be okay, because I think LGA 1200, for example, is still supported. AM4 is definitely supported. So 4 or 5 years should be fine. If it is like extremely old, then it may become a different story, of course. Yeah. Is the block and the pump an MSI in-house design? No, this is basically the block and the pump are from our OEM. So for this specific model, that's Cooler Master. So they're basically responsible for the pump part of it.
Skeets is saying go back to my retro build. No, I don't think it can go that far.
Depends on how retro, of course.
Yeah.
Okay. Talking about this pump, it is a high efficiency pump. Should be run at high performance but low noise output. So you don't have any annoying pump noises when you switch on your PC. Do you remember that from those early all-in-one liquid coolers? They had like this very intense buzz still when the pump was running. When all-in-one liquid coolers just became a thing, they were, especially the pump part, was relatively loud.
No, I don't think I've ever owned one that early.
Yeah, it was like a long time ago already. I'm not sure if you were already into PC building.
No.
But they used to be like, Sesko also says, "Rrr." Yeah, that was basic. That's actually quite a good description of the sound that old pumps made. But this one, definitely very, very silent in that perspective.
Like the pump at the dentist. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I would not have chosen a liquid cooling then back then.
Now, they could be relatively loud. I think, especially those days, bigger air coolers both cool better and were more silent. Nowadays, of course, the cooling performance of all-in-one liquid coolers, especially the bigger ones, tends to be a lot better than air coolers, because of course with air coolers at a certain point you're basically at the maximum size you can achieve. So the higher end liquid coolers definitely provide more cooling capacity in that situation.
Okay.
Then full CPU coverage. So here you see two examples in the blueprint basically of on the left an AMD CPU, on the right an Intel CPU, and as you can see the CPUs in both situations are smaller than the copper plate that the CPU block offers. So if you put on the copper block it will always cover your complete CPU. Also has an optimized base thickness, and that is to get optimal heat dissipation from the CPU to the liquid cooler. This is the other side of the copper base of the CPU block, and it has a lot of micro fins in there. They're actually extremely thin, so it's 0.1 millimeter thickness of the micro channels, so it's extremely thin. But basically what the micro channels do is increase the surface area, and by increasing the surface area it again improves heat dissipation and transferring the heat to the liquid inside the cooler. So that's kind of how it works on the inside.
Okay.
If you want to know more about this, it is a relatively old live stream, but if you look at our first live stream, you can still find this on YouTube from our CoreLiquid I Series. That was actually our first generation all-in-one liquid coolers. There we actually took one apart, so we also took the base plate out, so you can see what it looks like on the inside with the micro channels in there. They have LDB bearing, so that's liquid dynamic bearing in the fans, and this is also actually multiple purposes. It's both for the durability of the fan, so LDB fans are very durable, they last for a long, long time, and they're also very silent when comparing those, for example, to cheaper bearings like sleeve bearings or something like that. This is how the radiator basically works, and of course you have two tubes. One is for liquid going in, the other is for liquid going out. So the liquid coming in is of course cooled or heated up by the CPU, and then it's cooled down the liquid by the radiator. So basically the liquid turns around at the end of the radiator, and then it goes out cool again back to the CPU, where it again will heat up by the CPU. So this is what a closed loop liquid cooler works like on the inside. And it has a 12 pathway design in this specific situation. So that's basically the number of channels you have within that radiator. So you have 6 on each side. Evaporation proof tubing, this is something we've had for a few generations now. And it's basically a safety measure to make sure that you don't wake up at a certain point and your graphics card is all wet. That's something we wouldn't want to happen. They also have a very nice nylon braided finish to them. Maybe we can show it up close. Please switch the camera. So also the early models, all-in-one liquid cooler, they sometimes had like a plastic casing or rubber, but now this is rubber underneath still, but it has some nice fabric finish to it. I'm not sure if you can properly see it. So that's the nylon braided tube.
Does it affect the cooling in any way if you use rubber?
No,
or
it doesn't really matter because not much happens in the tubing. So the heat dissipation and the cooling all happens in the CPU block and the radiator. So this is just for transport in between. But basically dissipating the heat happens in the CPU block, and cooling off the liquid happens again in the radiator. So that's where the actual cooling happens. The tubes just for transportation purposes of the liquid. Then the $1 million question. Well, luckily they're not $1 million. These are the prices of our MAG CoreLiquid I Series. So for the 240 millimeter versions, it's $109 US excluding VAT, or 109 euros including VAT. In this case, that's 20%. This will differ a bit per region. So if the VAT in your region is a little bit higher, then it may be a little bit more expensive. If it's a little bit lower, then it may be a little cheaper. So this is the MSRP. So this is the suggested retail price. Of course, retailers can define their own prices. So it could be that it's slightly different in your specific region, but you should already probably be able to find these in the market right now. Otherwise, if you're interested in one of these coolers and it's not available in your region yet, then probably best to check with your local retailer to get an indication on when they expect to receive them. Then the 360mm radiator version, so the i360 and i360 white, they are $139 US excluding VAT, or 139 euros including VAT. Which model you need very much depends on, of course, the CPU you're going to use, the case you're going to use, all those kind of factors. If you want to run a very high-end CPU, you're maybe going to run an overclock a Core i9, then the 360mm would definitely be the way to go. If you maybe build a more compact system and you run like a Ryzen 5 or something like that, like a 9600X or a 7800X 3D with very low power consumption, then 240mm will be plenty already. So very much depends on what you exactly want to use.
Yeah, the prices are quite decent actually.
Yeah, so this is definitely one of our more affordable models.
Yeah.
Of course, it does mean that it doesn't have all the bells and whistles that certain high-end models have. So for example, LCD screens and stuff like that. Of course, that adds more cost. Some of those models also, for example, have a fan for the MOSFETs inside the block. That's also not the case for this specific model. But that also makes it a bit more affordable, and still in terms of CPU cooling performance, it's still very good, because that's usually the thing. CPU cooling performance mostly is dependent on the size of the radiator and not the specific model. So if you have a higher end series, but you, for example, have a 240mm model, it will probably be outperformed by a lower end 360mm model. So still very good cooling performance, also perfectly fine for high end CPUs, but no extra fancy stuff like LCD screens and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Then we had a liquid cooler. Let's maybe talk about case a little bit. Actually, maybe a while ago, you have seen this live stream that was actually done by Eric and Ruud, and they did a build in our MAG Pano M100R computer case, and that was our first Project Zero case. Let's make a little bit of space, because I actually have that one right here. And there we go.
Move.
And yeah, let's move to that one. And this is a micro ATX case, but Mankit, maybe you can look on your right.
Yeah,
because that's our latest Pano model. I will make a little bit of space because I know you will need this. Because it's quite a bit bigger. So this is the micro ATX and this is the ATX. So in the naming, you will see the difference from the M. So this is the Pano M100 series, and this is the Pano 100 series without the M as an addition, which is the regular ATX. As you can see in height, it's actually not that much of a difference, but it's a lot wider, and it also has to do with the fact that the power supply in this case is hidden behind the motherboard tray.
It's a big boy.
It is a big boy. This one we already did a build in before, so I'm going to get rid of this, and this is the one we will do today's build in the ATX model. That's also why we have the Z790 Project Zero ATX motherboard right there. So let's move this out of the place. Before we're going to build in this, I do have a bit of an introduction for this case as well, and we can show you some details throughout. This case comes available both in a black and in a white version. Let's move a little bit to the side, because now it's split in half. Looks interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Of course, we'll be building with the white today, but here in the picture you can also see what the black version looks like. Price will be the same, so it all depends on preference. Later on we'll talk more details about the different prices, because it does come in different versions. This is what you see in the picture is actually the L model, and it has the easy 120 ARGB fans in there. So those are custom fans that were added because the L model comes without any fans included. Today we will be building with the 100R model, and the R comes with addressable RGB fans in there.
Does the R stand for RGB or?
Yes.
Okay.
In this case, 4 fans are included. 3. I wanted to say in the front, but they're actually in the side, because the front is, of course, acrylic, and 1 in the back of the case. Kenneth says, no metallic blue? No. But if you add fence that can do that color, then then that's a possibility.
Yeah, I mean, white cases do reflect colors pretty well, and so you can make it whatever you want.
Yeah, usually for people who are very much into RGB, they tend to go for white cases because it's so intense because of the reflection.
And guess what? I got a white case.
Who would have expected that? Guess what? I have a black one.
My whole setup is almost white.
Yeah, but I don't have any RGB in my case. But yeah, also the L version, if you put in fence without RGB, then you can also make this a case without RGB. So yeah, it all depends on if you want to use a certain specific type of fan, then the L will be the way to go. Otherwise, I think the R, you'll see more about that later, but I think the R is very competitively priced. You don't pay a lot extra if you want to have the fence and the hub that also comes with that model. The cool thing about this case is that it is compatible with both ATX and micro ATX motherboards. So as you can see, it has both the cutouts for the Project Zero board. So also if you want to use a micro ATX Project Zero board, the cutouts are available in the motherboard tray. So you can still do that. That is not the case for all Project Zero cases. So for example, if you have our high-end Maestro one, that one specifically has the cutouts for ATX, but not for micro ATX. So you cannot use a micro ATX in that one. This one does have the cutouts for both. So you can pick whatever you like best. Of course, the case is also compatible with normal ATX or micro ATX motherboards. So if you like the whole, I always call it like aquarium look of a case, or fish tank.
No, I get that.
Yeah. With all the views in it from around. Then you can also, but you don't want a Project Zero motherboard, or you may want to take your current motherboard to the case. Then you can also do that. You can just use it with a normal ATX, micro ATX, or if you're using a regular motherboard, you can even do mini ITX. It would look a bit interesting in an ATX case to have a mini ITX motherboard, but it is possible. So you do you.
It's funny. Before I was introduced to mini ITX, I would go crazy over a case like this, but now, no, I find it too big.
It is quite big, but it is a bit of, and I think that's with more of our Project Zero products. They're a bit showcases. They are meant to look very fancy and give you a lot of view within the case. I think it looks pretty cool. For me, it would personally would also be too big, but for me, ATX in general, I think is big because I don't use that many add-in cards. But I think, yeah, for people who are in the market for an ATX case, then it does look pretty cool. And it is, and that's the thing, of course, the dimensions are quite a bit different than what you see for many ATX cases. So most ATX cases will be quite a bit taller, but also narrower, because usually the power supply is in the bottom of the case, and you basically mount the motherboard higher. Here, the power supply is behind the motherboard tray. Here you see a quick overview of the components that it can support. So we already talked about the motherboard support, so ATX and micro ATX for Project Zero, and also for a normal motherboard, you can even do extended ATX, normal ATX, micro ATX, and even mini ITX. CPU cooler height up to 175 millimeters, so also very big air coolers can fit in there. I think most people who would go for a case like this usually tend to go for all-in-one liquid cooler because it tends to look a little bit cleaner. But it is possible to use it with an air cooler as well, of course. Graphics cards, yeah, you have a ton of space, up to 380 millimeter for a graphics card, and power supply. So it supports ATX power supplies up to 200 millimeter, and that one is located behind the motherboard tray.
Does it support vertical GPU mounting? It does,
yes,
right?
It does.
Okay.
Today we won't be doing that. I have an early sample, of course, and I don't have that specific bracket.
Okay.
But usually it comes with 2 brackets, so you can decide to go for it. It doesn't come with a riser cable, so that you will have to get separately if you want to mount it vertically, or maybe you already have one. But it is definitely possible with this case.
So you can make it really showy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can. You can mount it vertically. So this is actually, I didn't hear of this before this case, but I'm not sure how it is pronounced. Do you know? Chamfering? Correct me if I'm wrong, chat. But this is like a certain technique to minimize gaps. So basically, you make it very, even though they are different panels, you make the gap's basically non-existent, and that gives you a very good look of the.
Yep. Can see that.
Yeah, it's actually in the front. It's here. It's this part.
Oh.
There you get there. So basically,
I would always be scared that this would just break.
by the way, the thickness of the tempered glass is 4 millimeter. Then both the front and the side panel are removable. So as mentioned before, they are separate panels, and you can just take them out. Mark it. This screams for a demonstration. Okay, switch to the main camera.
Let's see.
You don't break it because we still need to build it.
Okay, I don't need to.
No, you can just pop it off. Yeah.
Okay. Looks man kit friendly.
Okay, shall I hold it for you? Because we all know how you are with tempered glass.
Does that mean... Wait. Do I push it from here? No.
It's up to you to find out.
Not this side. Keep reminding him. Ooh, this feels... Wait, am I removing the front panel?
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
But that is correct.
I'm scared.
Why are you scared? What are you scared for?
Wait, I should do it while people can watch me do it. Okay. Less scary now.
See, it's not that hard.
Oh, and it's connected to a cable.
Yes, and that is because it actually has some, RGB in there. So there is some nice the MSI logo in the top bottom basically is RGB illuminated. So you can also sync that up with your RGB light. So it is connected there with a small cable for the RGB, but you can completely take that off.
Okay, I recommend when somebody's going to build in this, do not remove the peel until you're finished.
That's usually a good idea in general.
Well, sometimes...
Peeling is always for last, right? You should just click it in. Yeah, and also there. And at the bottom. Yes.
Okay, this is...
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
As soon as you hear the click, then it's back in place.
Need help? Nah, I don't need help.
Nah, this was fine, right?
I'm just being careful. Because otherwise I'll be the new Eric.
Yeah, Eric would have already broken it if he touched it. Before we continue, let's maybe do our first giveaway.
Yeah. Give me a moment.
One of the game codes for Star Wars Outlaws.
Shall we do one or two?
What time is it? First one.
Okay.
If you haven't participated yet, go to msi.com/2/insider, or if you're watching on Twitch or YouTube, you can also follow the direct link that our bot puts in the chat once every 5 minutes. That will lead you to Gleam. Within Gleam, you can perform certain actions. The more actions you perform, the bigger chance you have to win. And if you're a returning visitor, make sure to claim your loyalty vote.
To the honors.
Congratulations, Palace Eye. Do I pronounce that correctly?
I think so. Palace Eye or Pelusay or...
Congrats, you won a game code for Star Wars
Congratulations.
Outlaws. So please keep an eye out in your mailbox, then we'll email the code to you in the coming days with some instructions on how to redeem it. This is quite interesting. Someone in our chat is using the chat in TikTok from, I think, an LG TV. And the name is actually the name of the television. That's pretty cool. I had no idea you could even chat through your television and have it default that name.
Now we know what TV he has.
Yeah, we do.
Oh, we're not gonna dig deeper into that. Wait, let me put away the laptop for now.
And then let's continue.
Yep.
So we already touched a little bit on this, but you can mount it either horizontally or vertically, so the graphics card. For the vertical mount, you have a separate bracket. That one comes included with the case, but the riser cable doesn't come included. If you use that bracket for the vertical mount and you still want to have some airflow behind the graphics card, then you can actually mount 2 additional fans inside that bracket, and those are 60mm fans with a thickness of 15mm that you can add in there, and that way you create some airflow behind the graphics card. So also if you have SSDs mounted on your motherboard, that can be beneficial for your temperatures. It also has an adjustable VGA holder height on kit. Can you demonstrate?
Yeah, I'm looking. I'm trying to see.
Did you see the VGA holder?
No.
No. Do we have that one in? We may not have it installed actually, is it?
No, I don't think we have it installed on this
maybe
one.
it's in the accessory package, but I don't think our early sample has this.
Let's see.
No, that's not in the liquid cooler box because it is in the case.
Oh, right, it's in the case.
Yeah. So that's the thing, if you have an early sample like we do, we don't have the bracket, but apparently we also don't have the adjustable VGA holder. I think that one is in the accessory package that, of course, didn't come with our model. But don't worry, if you get one from the store, then this will be in there, and you can adjust the height. And basically what the VGA holder does is it supports it from the bottom. And then also depending on the slot where you put it or how thick your graphics card is, you can adjust this. Usually, I wouldn't say it is like a complete necessity to have a VGA holder. But for example, if you want to transport your PC to maybe a friend or LAN party, then sometimes, maybe in the car, if you get certain shocks, then it is nice if there is something to support the graphics card inside the PCI Express line.
Yeah.
Okay. Then custom liquid cooler support, because today we're going to use an all-in-one liquid cooler, but you can also do custom liquid cooler in this case. And you can actually fit 360mm radiators in 3 different parts of this case. So the top, the side, and the bottom of this case all have extensive support for fans and radiators. Here you also see an overview of the whole support. So in certain situations you can also use 140mm fans, and in the top and the bottom you can actually fit 3, or at the front you can fit, or side I should say, you can fit 2 of those. And if you use 120mm fans, both side, top and bottom can fit 3 times 120mm fans.
Oh, I can make this into a disco.
Yeah, you can make a huge disco.
No, 10 fans total.
It's quite a lot, isn't it?
Yeah.
You could do even more if you also have the 60mm ones in the bracket, and then ton of fans you can put in there.
Definitely.
In the bottom, it's actually a very wide area, and instead of using 120 or 140mm fans, you can even go up to 160mm fans. Bigger fans usually are able to still move a ton of air while spinning at lower speeds, and that basically makes your fans more silent. So if you're one of those persons who wants a very quiet PC, then it may be interesting to use 160mm fans. They're a bit more rare on the market, but actually if you've watched our Computech stream, you know we have also recently announced a 160mm fan. And of course that one also fits in this case.
Never seen one in real life.
They're big. They are big.
They're big. Well, I already think that 140 are big, so
yeah. So even bigger.
Can't imagine 160s.
For fans, it's quite often the bigger the better in that perspective. This is also a nice thing to have behind the position where you can place the fans or the radiator at the side. It actually has 45mm of space in between that bracket and the side panel. So if you want to use a push-pull configuration, you can actually place the fans behind that bracket as well. So you have plenty of space there. You can also use thicker radiators, fans, all those kind of things. So a lot of space. Also has to do, of course, with the fact that this case is relatively wide. Because of that power supply also behind the motherboard tray, that gives you more space in this area as well. Here you see at the bottom where it can also support a 360mm radiator. The maximum thickness depends on your motherboard height, but it can go up to 52mm at the bottom. You also have some additional clearance below the case, so it's elevated a bit. It has relatively high feet, and that is of course if you want to position a radiator or anything like that, or fans in the bottom, that it can properly breathe. So you have 40mm of clearance below the case as well.
It's actually crazy how MAG products can give so much value. I mean, I would kill.
That's the thing about MAG, right?
Yeah, I would kill for like these specs back in the day.
Yeah, like I think these kind of cases, they are, in terms of feature set, they're very cool, like in terms of cooling, what you can fit in it. But of course, if you want the fancy stuff, you want maybe LCD screens, LCD touchscreens, and additional functionality in your case, then you would go to the higher segments.
Because this will give me tons of airflow.
Yeah, for airflow, this is this is a lot. Yeah.
Now I'm tempted.
It also comes with removable dust filters on 3 sides. So you have a dust filter on the top, you have a dust filter on the side, and a dust filter on the bottom. So basically all the positions where you can place radiators, you also have dust filters available. Yeah, so maybe we can quickly show you. So I'll just take the side panel off. If you switch to close-up camera, you see that basically this is one big dust filter, and it's also removable. So you can take it out. Let me see. Here there is actually on the bottom. You see, it may be hard to read, but it says pull, and that's how you can take it off. And it is a magnetic system, so you can remove this dust filter if you want to clean it. And then there is also a dust filter on the top of the case and in the bottom of the case.
Yeah.
Can you switch to the slides again?
Yeah, of course.
It has a dual chamber design, and basically that is the front of the case where you will position the motherboard, and behind the motherboard tray where you, because the power supply is also there, you also have quite a lot of space. So separate compartments there, and also because again that power supply is there, you have a lot of space for cable routing behind the motherboard tray. So 90mm in total behind that tray to basically stuff all your cables and hide everything where no one can see it.
If you're a lazy PC builder, go for it.
Yeah. It also has a multifunction storage bracket, so I'm going to take this panel off again. And then you see that here you have like 2 separate parts. Let me also, there's like a thumb screw here, so let me undo this. And you can open this up, and in both of them you can install SSDs, or on the bottom even hard drives. So in this one you can position 2 either 2.5 or 3.5 inch drives, and on this one you can fit an additional 2.5 inch drive. So that's where you can put all your storage, apart from of course the M.2 SSDs you can place on your motherboard. So those are, I think, very nice things to have. Oh, you have to close this one first, by the way, because this one basically falls in there. And that's also with a swinging hinge, as you've just seen. And then we already touched on this a little bit. So easier cable management, that of course has to do with the fact that it's a Project Zero case. So you have a lot of the connectors on the back of the motherboard, out of sight. And additionally, because you have a ton of space, you can just basically cram all the cables in there and you don't see anything of it. This also makes it a very suitable case if you're maybe a more beginning PC builder and you're not very used to difficult cable management. Then this will make your life a whole lot easier, because you don't have to go through any tight spaces or anything like that. You have a ton of space to basically leave all your excess cables.
How to make you look like a pro even though you're a beginner.
Yeah, this is the way to do it.
Well, this is the case
Harmless
to
Khan
do.
is asking, what's the giveaway? The giveaway is on top of my kid's head there. Star Wars Outlaws, we're giving away game codes. So go to amazon.com/2/insider or follow the direct link that our bot puts in the chat once every 5 minutes to participate. FRC Eagle says, pay to win cable management. Well, later on you will see the prices. It's not that you have to pay additionally for that cable management. It is not a very expensive cable. But it does make your life easier in terms of cable management for sure. Easy assembly process, and this is something I really like, and that's the JFP1 header is like bundled into a single cable, so you don't separately have to plug in the power button, the reset button, the power LED, the HDD LED. Those are all combined into a single connector. And let me see if I have it easily accessible.
This is so much better.
So
Oh, and I like
that's
that.
the one.
I like that everything is white, because some cases are in white, but they have like black cables or black connectors, but everything is in white here.
Yeah. So all nicely combined into a single connector. Another one, you've already seen it a couple of times, but it has push latches, so you don't have to screw in the side panel. I will just quickly show you again, grabbing the side panel. So basically it looks like this, and that clicks into the case. So when you put it in there, you just press it, it clicks, and it's in position, it's fixed.
Slowly everything is becoming tool-free.
Yeah, I think that's a good development. I love that. No fiddling around with screwdrivers for basically everything. You can just click it in. This is on all the sides actually, so also the other side and the front as well. The only part where you do have two thumb screws still is the top panel of this case. And then you can slide it off. The I/O in this case, well, there basically is no real front panel where you can do this because it is a tempered glass front panel. So the I/O is actually in one of the feet of this case. So yeah, if you turn it around, then we can show it. Yeah. Yeah. So right here you see the different ports. So here you see a power button. There you have a reset button. Then you have a combined connector for a headset. So this is a combined 3.5 millimeter jack, and that one does then both the headphone and the microphone. This is the USB Type A. Has another one of that, and those are USB 3.2 Gen 1. So those are 5 gigabit per second USB ports, and then there is a USB Type C port, and that's 3.2 Gen 2 times 2. So that's up to 20 gigabits per second for that USB Type C port. Of course, this is something that your motherboard also needs to support. So in order to use this, you do need to have a front header on your motherboard that is compatible with USB 20 gigabit per second. Otherwise, if you still have a USB Type C header, you can still use it, but then it may run at lower speed. So for example, 10 gigabits per second if that's the maximum that your motherboard header can do. Then, last but not least, of course, this is a very nice combination with all these new products that have a lot of focus at easy building and easy cable management. You have to pick it up before you turn it, Mark.
Yeah, I didn't want to bother anyone.
Yeah, that works. So of course, with the Project Zero motherboards, with these new liquid coolers, the new Easy120 ARGB fans, all very nice combinations. So quick summary of all the stuff that we already talked about. Compatible with ATX and micro ATX, both regular and Project Zero motherboards. For normal motherboards also extended ATX and mini ATX was possible, horizontal or vertical VGA installation. A lot of space for cable routing, multifunction storage bracket, push latch side panels, the uni-front panel cable that I really like, so you just plug it in at once. Up to 360 millimeter radiators, and a bottom intake airflow solution that we talked about with up to 160 millimeter fans in the bottom. Then in terms of pricing, there are 4 different models. So the L, as mentioned before, comes without the 4 ARGB fans, so without 4 120 millimeter fans. That one also doesn't have a hub behind the motherboard tray. And then the R model, that one comes with 4 ARGB fans included, as well as the addressable RGB /fan hub behind the motherboard tray. The model without the fans and without the hub is $109 US, excluding VAT, or $109 US including VAT. Same price for both the black and the white model. And then for the R, the version with the fans and the hub, retails at $129 US or 129 euros, so US dollar excluding VAT, euros including VAT. These cases are also already launched, so possibly they're already available at your local retailers. If not, and you're interested, then best to check with your local retailer to get some more information on when they would be available from there. So yeah, this is quite a lot more affordable than, for example, our Maestro case that we talked about a while ago. But yeah, all different segments, of course.
I mean, for 20 more euros, you get 4 fans. That's cheap. Because I know fans can go quite, especially RGB fans can get quite expensive. So,
but some people may want very specific fans or magnetic fans, like the easy ARGB fans. If you're not going to use them anyway, then of course it's a waste of 20 euros or $20.
You can sell them.
You do, however, still get the hub with that version as well. But yeah, some people are extremely picky about their fans and they want very specific fans. In that case, the L version is available. But I agree with you, it would probably be best value to get the version with the fans and the hub, because the price difference is actually not that big.
I would get the ones with the fans and the hub, sell the fans, get other fans.
Would you get other fans though? Because that's actually something we haven't talked about so far yet. But the cool thing about the fans that come with the R version is the 3 fans in the front are also reverse blade fans.
Ooh.
And that means that you maybe we can show it. Can you go to the main cam?
Yeah.
If you look from the side, you don't see the fan housing of these 3 fans. So you don't see basically the 4 legs that it has. It does have those on the other side. But these are still mounted as intake fans. So if you would mount a regular fan like this with a fan housing at the back, then they would be outtake fans and they would pull the air from the case outside here. Usually people want to use these as intake fans and they use the one in the back as an outtake fan. With the reverse fan blade fans, you don't see the fan housing, but they're still intake fans. And this is the case for all the 3 fans that come included with this case by default. The one in the back, of course, is a regular fan. So there the fan housing is in the back and it drags the air out of the case. So
yeah, I might not sell them, yeah. But can you buy them separately, or?
Not at this point, not the ones that are in this one. Mike's Unboxing says, still no sign of AMD AM5 Project Zero. Actually, we do have a motherboard already available for quite a while. It's the B650M Project Zero. That's readily available. It is B650 motherboard, so it is AM5, and it is Project Zero. But it is a micro ATX motherboard. But it's definitely possible to do a Project Zero build with AMD. Actually, that was our very first Project Zero motherboard, the B651. So we started Project Zero with AMD, actually. Now we have both platforms available with Project Zero, both Intel and AMD. But it does exist for sure. I think that was enough theory, right?
Yeah.
Let's maybe do a second giveaway and start the building process, because we still have some work to do.
Right.
I will move this to the ground briefly, so we can start preparing the motherboard first. Create some space.
You have everything on that side?
Yeah, we'll make a little bit more space here as well. Because yeah, it is a relatively big case, so I do need some space for building this PC, but it will be fine. As mentioned, today we are using the Z790 Project Zero motherboard. This is a full ATX motherboard, not an extended ATX one, but a full ATX one. Based, of course, on the Intel Z790 chipset. So that's compatible with LGA 1700 processors, basically all of them. So where you're using a 12th generation, 13th generation, 14th generation, that's all possible.
Good question.
A good question. Londog is saying, if you cannot purchase the exact same fans that came with the case, how do you get replacement fans when they were to fill? Luckily, you have warranty for this, so if they were to fill, you can basically just open a warranty ticket, and then they will find a solution for you. That doesn't mean, by the way, that in the future we may also have separate fans available that do have this reversed fan blade possibility. Not at this point yet, but that may happen in the future.
1 or 2?
Winners.
Yeah.
1. Two of those separate moments and one more one.
Oh, okay, nice. I like the name.
Absence of Logic, congratulations. You also won a Star Wars Outlaws game code.
Congratulations.
Congrats. So let me get rid of this box again to make some space again.
I will be filming the process.
Good. So Absence of Logic, also to you. Keep your an eye out on your mailbox. Then we'll email the code to you in the coming days with some instructions on how to redeem it. So this is the motherboard that we'll be using. With Project Zero motherboards, always be very careful because they bite. They have the connectors on the back, of course, and these can be quite dangerous. So if you just pick up the motherboard like you would pick up a normal motherboard, you would basically grab into those connectors, and it can be very painful.
It happened to me already.
Yeah, so always be very careful where you grab it. So for example, on this side you can grab it because you don't have any connectors there. In between you can put your thumb. The heat sinks are properly screwed in, so it's no problem if you use this heat sink to lift the board, but just be very careful of these
There's
kind
one
of
bent
connectors.
connector where...
What did you bend, Market?
I think he's talking about this one. Or is that not bent?
Yeah, slightly. Maybe I was a bit too aggressive taking the header out. Look, fixed.
And it's fixed.
That's how we do it. But yeah, be very careful with how you pick it up. And that's also something you have to be careful with, and apparently we haven't been careful enough with it. If you put it down, it's also on the connector, so if you put it down very hard, then you may also damage the connector. So be careful with it. Yeah, this is a motherboard. Let's first do some preparations on the motherboard before we grab the case to do some stuff. So let me grab some components.
So if you want to know what components we're using, you can look at the specs in the middle of the screen. Then you'll know what everything is.
We have our CPU, Intel Core i7-14700K. Then we have our memory. So these are G.Skill Trident Z5 RGB DDR5 5600 modules. And then we have our SSD. And that's the MSI Spatium M480 1TB SSD. So first we'll install all of this on our motherboard, and then we'll slide everything into the case at once, which will make our lives a lot easier. Never remove the cap before you install the CPU. So just keep the cap in, open up the socket, grab your CPU, carefully drop it into the socket. Now your socket is protected by the CPU, and then you can just pop this out, take it off, close it, and push the latch down, and that's it. So putting in a CPU, easy task, but make sure to do it properly so you don't damage the socket, because the pins inside the socket, they are quite fragile. Memory modules, always look at the middle part because they can only go in one way. So if you put it in like this, then you see that it aligns, and then you can click it in. If you use two memory modules, make sure to use the second slot and the fourth slot, so not the first and the third. That has to do with the memory tracing on the motherboard. So these are daisy-chained motherboards, not T topology. So actually the signal quality will be better on slot 2 and 4 than it will be on 1 and 3. Or the official name is that this is 0, this is 1, that is 2, that is 3. So then it will be 1 and 3 instead of 0.
And if you're still confused or you're not sure, you can always look at the motherboard itself.
Yep. So there you also see it's very tiny, so I'm not sure if you can read it, but it says first, and basically it points to those two memory slots. then you may be spoiled with our last AMD generation, for example. They have the new Easy Ender 2 Shield Frozr 2 and stuff, and you don't need any screwdrivers, you can just take it off. This model doesn't have that yet. So the old school way, we screw it off, and I already lost the screw, so there you see the benefit of Easy Ender 2 Shield Frozr. If I turn it around, I should be able to get my screw back somewhere.
There we go.
It does have the first generation Easy Ender 2 clip. So for that one, luckily we don't need a screw. Let me grab the SSD. So just put it in there. Always make sure this is positioned correctly. Then you push it down, you turn this around, and it's installed, that's it. And then we can screw this one back on. And then basically our motherboard is prepared. And the other screw. So now CPU, memory and SSD all installed. So I'm gonna toss this aside for now, and then I'm gonna grab the case. Or, yeah, I have it on my side. There we go.
Be careful.
I will. Maybe we can switch to the other camera again.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can go to main. That's fine as well. What I usually do when I start a PC, I want to be able to access everything easily. So I just take a lot of panels off.
See, this is the difference between me and Mike. He explains everything. I'm figuring it out while I'm still building.
Why? It's not that hard.
Well,
if you take everything off,
a
everything's
different
easily
case,
accessible.
maybe like there are different methods to do it, but you have
Of course, it is slightly different in this case in the sense that it is a Project Zero case. So if you're used to build in regular cases, then it is something to get slightly used to because everything is on the other side. But if you have experience with building PCs, then it is something you will very easily pick up on how to do it. Another thing that I usually do in a relatively early stage is put the power supply in there, and that's because then I can already route the power cables in the right direction. With Project Zero, this is actually less important because you access them from the back, so you can basically even at the end put it in if you want to. So this is all just preference based. I'm used to just put the PSU in there in a very early stage, so I'm going to do the same now, but this is not something you necessarily have to.
Does it matter where you put the fan side of the PSU, or?
Yes, it does matter because basically if you have the fan, so in this case it's on that side, if you would do it on this side, then it will be towards the back of the motherboard, so it cannot get any fresh air from the back of your motherboard. So in this situation, in this case, have the fan on this side because that is where you will get the side panel where you have fans.
So the PSU fan is always intake?
PSU fan is indeed intake and throws it out from the back.
Yeah.
That is correct. Then we just stuff it in there. I'm gonna move some cables right there. That one you can leave actually, because I'm gonna at the end connect it to that side of the motherboard. So that is fine if it's there. And then we just screw it in.
Can hold it.
So this is MAG A850GL PCIe 5 power supply. So that's an 80 plus gold rated power supply, 850 watts. It is fully modular. Of course, you saw that cables were already in there. So those are the cables I need for this specific build. But you can take out the cables that you don't need for your build, so you don't have an excess of cables. Yeah, always a very nice feature to have, I think, to have a modular power supply. So now it's screwed in. There is actually a SATA connector right here from the case. I will already connect that one so I don't forget. This SATA connector is actually to power the addressable RGB/fan hub on the back of the motherboard tray. So that one is located right there. That's where all the fans are connected to. And they will all be powered through this SATA port. Then that hub does have connectors for to connect the PWM header to the motherboard and the rest of the RGB, so you can still control it through your motherboard and the software that you want to use with it. So this is the cool thing about this case. You have all these PSU cables, and at this point, if you turn the case on its back, then they will be in the way. But because you have so much clearance here, you can just stuff it here for now. Because at this point we don't need it yet. You just close this door, you ram it in, and then you have a thumb screw, and it doesn't bother you anymore. So now you can just put the case flat on its back without being bothered by all the cables. Okay, then we're gonna turn the case around and put it on its back. Then we can, there are two ways to do it. You can either put the all-in-one liquid cooler first. We're gonna place that one right here at the top of the case. You can also choose to place the motherboard first. That's what we're gonna do. This motherboard has a pre-installed I/O shield, so that makes your life a whole lot easier. You don't have to put anything in first. You can just slide this into position. Of course, be a little bit careful with this because the connectors are of course on the back of the motherboard with this case. So it does sometimes take a little bit of a wiggle because there are cables behind that as well to get it in position. But there we go. And then you can just check with the screws if they're in the correct
So
position.
the motherboard hides the cable mess. Yes.
Yeah, essentially that is indeed what it does. Because you do have cutouts in the motherboard tray, you need those for the connectors of the motherboard, and there are also cutouts for the micro ATX, of course. So if you don't have the motherboard in there, then you see a lot of cable mess. So this is an ATX motherboard, of course. So in this case, we have 9 screws for the motherboard. If you use a micro ATX one, then you would only have 6 screws, and if you have mini ITX, you even only have 4 screws. By the way, it is always a lot easier if you use a screwdriver with a magnetic screw head.
Oh yeah.
Especially with things like that, if you have to drop that in the right position manually, that's going to make your life a little bit harder. But here you can look. Now, for example, it's not positioned correctly, so I can just lift it out using the magnetic head, and I can reposition it. And then I should aim properly. There we go. And just screw it in. Skeet says, how many people are going to bend their fan headers? That will probably happen to a couple of people, especially if they pick it up, put it down with the Project Zero motherboard. The good thing is that fan headers, the pins in fan headers, they are relatively thick. So you can usually, you don't even manually have to bend them in the correct position. If you basically plug in a fan, that will force the pins to go back in their original state. So if you just plug a fan on with a regular header, in most situations that is, it will fix it again. So I wouldn't worry about that too much. Definitely be more careful about the addressable RGB pins, because those are definitely a little bit thinner and more fragile. And if you would bend those too much back and forth, then I could see those break definitely.
No Linus Tech Tips screwdriver. Nope.
What kind of screwdriver do I have? I have a no brand red and black.
I mean, he sells I think a Torque one. No, I don't think LTT sells in Europe, so.
Probably not.
To be honest, it was on my wish list for my birthday, but then I realized they would have to import it, so I thought, no, never mind.
We just have a very simple basic screwdriver. It is a nice MSI kind of color scheme though.
Yep.
With a red and black. Yeah.
Oh.
I don't have this position correctly, I think. Good enough. Okay, then we are gonna place the radiator. So let's maybe turn this around. It's probably the easiest one. Actually, I said good enough, but I didn't properly screw that one in. No, I can actually just lift it up.
The shipping costs are high from Canada to Europe. I mean, shipping costs has been crazy high last couple months, years. So
that's better.
maybe Maybe if I visit the States or something, I'll buy one. Come back with an LTT screwdriver.
So radiator, we're gonna position here in the top. I will get the tubes to this side because then it is very easy for me to get to the...
No.
Yeah, that's hard to see from the thing. It will make it quite easy to reach. Let me take this connector out of the fan. In terms of length. Yeah, turn it. Yeah, there we go. You see, this is a very nice length to have for the tubes. Otherwise, if I would have the tubes come out of the other side of the radiator, then I would have to like fold them around in order to get them in the right position. Right now, the protective film is still on here, so also if I put it somewhere away, I don't accidentally damage it. So right now, let me find a nice position to put it. I can also just...
It looks like more work, Skeets, but that's because he's explaining everything.
Yeah. I wouldn't say it's more work than a regular build. Most of the steps are, of course, still the same. So my kit already put the cable cover on the correct side, so that's nice. And then let's position this and screw it in. So as you can see, you have a lot of screw options here. I'm not gonna do all of them. I think it's a little bit too much. Yeah, you can just hang it, that's okay. Yeah, a little bit lower. There we go. So, for example, here you have screws right next to each other. I'm a lazy person, so I only screw one side in. Same for the one in the middle. And then, of course, I do the 4 at the ends. If you want, you can, of course, use 12 screws. I think 8 should be sufficient for this. Oh, it's a little bit hard to reach.
My baller was telling me to drink some water, sorry.
Yeah, was it flashing?
Yeah.
What color?
Red, because I put it
Red,
on red. Oh.
So your bottle becomes angry when you don't drink too long. And then pull this up a little bit. Actually, I should loosen them up a little bit because they're slightly out of position, so I need to be able to pull up the radiator a bit. So I just basically tiny bit unscrew them, KU film right here, because sometimes you see that, for example, it dips underneath. Now, if you just lightly unscrew them, you can just lift it off into the correct position. So don't force anything if this is not properly aligned. Don't still try to screw it in. Just unscrew the others a little bit, and then it fits easily.
Yes, Skis, we have smart water bottles, but not MSI though. But it has RGB, so I'm a big fan.
But can you sync it with your motherboard?
Would be kind of cool.
Oh, there we go. You're in the way with your camera, I'm okay. Thank you. So I did unscrew the others a little bit, so now I will just tighten them up slightly. Don't over tighten screws because you might break things. And I think these are already properly in.
Yep.
Yeah, all good. So that's 8 screws in there. Then I will also already start with installing the CPU cooler, and I see we forget something. And this is a challenge because this is, now you see one of the downsides of a Project Zero case, because I think we cannot access it anymore because of the power supply.
Oh.
And we forgot the backplane.
Oh, yeah.
Now I'm not going to undo the whole motherboard again because that's 9 screws and I'm a lazy person, so I just easily take out the power supply with only 4 screws.
Let's see, wait, let's go to main. Do you have the backplate with you? No, it's in here.
I think it's somewhere in your pack.
Yep.
But yeah, with, for example, regular cases, this is a plus because you can still access it from the back. With a Project Zero case, at least in this case, the power supply is on that side, so that will make your life a little bit harder. Or at least you have to briefly take out the power supply. Well, watch out because it will drop. Yeah. Okay.
Quick question.
So now I can access it from the back.
Quick question, actually, from me. Does this come with cooling paste pre-applied?
Not pre-applied, no. It comes with a small tube in the packing. So now I'm just gonna push the back plate through the motherboard. Can you screw it in from that side?
Don't screw it too hard, you say. This one, right?
Yeah.
All right. Does it matter which side I use? No, right?
No, they're the same. And then the back plate is in position.
Okay, I'm not gonna do it too tight yet. Because Michiel told me not to screw it too hard.
Silent Shadow says, would pre-applied not just dry out? Usually I would say it's pretty okay, usually. Because usually it also has like a protective film layer over it, for example. I do prefer, however, to have a small tube included, also because if you, for whatever reason, want to remount your CPU cooler, then you can just use the tube again, because it has a bit more than what the pre-applied would be, so you can use it multiple times. And you cannot do that with when it's pre-applied. Okay.
Okay.
So now backplate in position, then we can reposition the power supply. So we just put it in like this. And then we screw it in again. Market, can you stand back a little bit before I accidentally hit you?
Okay, so a question from Silent Shadow. What do you think of phase change thermal paste sheets like those that LTT sell now?
I haven't tried them myself, so I cannot comment on that, unfortunately. I should have to try those out maybe sometime.
Wonder if it cools better. Makes it even user-friendly.
There we go. This is why I took the power supply out instead of the motherboard. Only 4 screws, so that's doable. This we can handle. Okay, back in. Then we can continue with the water block. So I'm gonna stuff all those cables back again. And quickly screw this back in. Let me do this with my thumb instead. And then we can put it on its back again. I do want to be a bit protective of the block because you don't want to damage the copper base plate. So always be a bit careful when you move the case around and this is not installed on the CPU yet. Before I'm gonna take off the protective film, just carefully put it here. I'm gonna apply some thermal paste. I do have a tube here. We can also use the official one. Let's maybe do that one. Comes with a small tube. So let's use the included thermal paste. Put some nice MSI branding on it. So then it must cool better, right?
Mm-hmm.
See, small tube of thermal paste. So you can use this a few times, of course, not as many times as the big tubes that we usually use. But definitely you can use this more than pre-applied thermal paste. Also, in case you ever take your cooler off, always just replace your thermal paste. Don't leave it on there. Can I get a little bit more space? Yeah.
Question from Zackle from YouTube. What's with the fan on the rear side? The middle one is pushing out, the other two in?
The middle one is pushing out, the other two in. On the rear. You mean on the liquid cooler, or where do you mean exactly?
I think he means these three, right?
They're all positioned in the same way.
Really?
These fans, yeah.
Oh, it looks different.
Oh, they are. Oh, the fan blades are in a different direction now
Yeah.
that you say it. Interesting. I haven't noticed before, but they should all be reverse fan blade fans. I guess that this would be because they are an engineering sample. I also see a slight color difference here. The fans were actually, we cheated slightly. The fans were sent separately because this officially is the L model and we made it into an R model. But yeah, good one. Let's later on test if we get the proper airflow in the right direction. But yeah, that should be different on the eventual models that are not made into an R model. So here, take the protective film off. Don't forget this. If you if you don't do this, your CPU will run pretty hot. Thermal paste is applied. I always just put like basically a grain of rice on there, and I don't spread it manually. I just put the block on and the pressure will spread it for me. There's always a lot of discussion on the internet about how to apply thermal paste. For me, this works fine. I've seen all the different cross tactics and
I would have put at least double.
yeah, I don't. I actually hate it when there is a lot of thermal paste on because when I take it off, everything will be drowned in thermal paste.
I know.
And
You said that before.
yeah, I absolutely hate it because
To one of my builds.
yeah, because I had to clean it off again. So yeah, wouldn't advise. Skeet says that is not enough. So that's always the discussion. I think this is plenty. I really think this is plenty. I think the difference is so minor that it's not worth the hassle of spreading, doing different special techniques. There is one exception for me, that is high-end desktop platform, because those CPUs tend to be a lot bigger than I do multiple dots, because if I then only do a dot in the middle, it will not spread over the whole CPU, where this CPU in the mainstream platform, but also AM5 CPUs, they are small enough that they will properly cover the whole CPU. At the end, if I would take this off after the mounting pressure, the whole CPU will be covered in thermal paste. So that will be perfectly fine.
So do you tighten them very tight or not right away? Or?
Not right away. So first, as you can see, I do it with my thumb, but you see that there is like a cross that you can do it with a screwdriver. At a certain point, when I cannot go any further with my thumb, then I grab the screwdriver and I do them one by one in a crossway section. So first I tighten this a little bit, then I tighten the one straight across a little bit, then I tighten this a little bit, and that's how you get the mounting pressure on the CPU, and that will, if you have proper mounting pressure on your CPU, that will spread the thermal paste for you. So I just quickly check all of them again if they're tight enough. Don't get over tighten it, don't do it too extreme, but make sure that the mounting pressure is sufficient to spread the thermal paste. Skull says, I always submerge my CPUs in thermal paste for dominance. That's another way to do it, but if you take it off, then it becomes one big mess. So I don't do the submerge tactic. So let me quickly route the cable in between here, and then I just route it. Let me pick it up again. Maybe you can switch the other camera. It will be a bit easier because the rest will for now mostly be getting some cables in the back plugged in into the motherboard. So now that's all in the front. So we open this up again. So we have our cable mesh from the power supply again. And now we can connect some stuff. Let me quickly gather everything.
Oh, right, of course, because the connectors are on the back.
The connectors are on the back, so there is not much else to do on the front of the case. That's why it's probably easiest to go in this camera direction.
Oh, okay. It also says HDD,
Yeah,
SSD.
this is where you can place your hard drives or SSDs.
It actually tells you which holes to put the SSD in and which ones to put the HDD. It's kind of nice.
Yeah, so basically, if you use a 2.5-inch HDD, then use the SSD holes. But But other than that, yeah, it's pretty handy. This is the cable for the graphics card. It is yellow, so you can see if it is properly in, because you don't want to lose connection for this one, because it can go all the way up to 600 watts in this specific example. So already I'm going to route this to the front. So basically it's out of my way here. And later on we will need that at the front. And then I will plug all the power connectors in. So the SATA we already plugged in. We don't need for now.
So you'll never have the question, is it in yet?
Is it in yet? Indeed. And then let's find the USB front headers before I plug anything from the power supply in on the motherboard. So we have our front USB Type A. That's actually one plug for both the USB Type A's on the front. I'll quickly plug that into the back. I'm not going to do fancy cable management today. Reason one, because you don't really need it with a Project Zero build, because it will be hidden anyway. Reason two being that it takes a lot of time to tighten everything up. And usually if I would build it in a fancy way, then I would do that. Let me quickly unplug this still, because it's kind of in the way.
I mean, a non-modular PSU would also work fine here, because
it will work because you can hide the cables, but it makes the building process maybe a little bit more difficult because you have an excess of cables. But other than that, it would be okay. Let me see. I'm looking for the front USB Type C, and it should be somewhere there.
Yeah, to be honest, I think DDR5 compared to DDR4
front USB Type C
is cheaper, right, or not?
I don't think it is cheaper at this point yet.
Huh.
It shouldn't be too big of a difference anymore, but I don't think it is. Maybe it depends also on the region a little bit.
I went overkill. I got 64 gigs at home.
64, yeah, that's quite a lot.
But I went with your recommendation, only 2 sticks.
Yeah.
I'm not going 4 sticks anymore.
Yeah, the thing is with 2 sticks you can generally achieve much higher memory frequencies. Yeah. And especially for gaming PCs, that is quite beneficial. It's a lot more beneficial to get the higher frequencies than to get a ton of memory in there. So for a gaming PC, you probably in most situations will be better off with 32 gig at a high frequency with only 2 DIMM than 64 at a lower frequency with 4 DIMM. Okay, so ATX is plugged into the back of the motherboard. Then, Mankit, can you hand me over the cable for the one that I just routed for the liquid cooler? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Just through the cable management hole. On the top. Because we want to make it look fancy. So the one cable, no, here.
Oh.
Because the one cable that we do have, we want to have out of sight, of course. There we go. And then we just connect it to the back. So in this case, this comes from the CPU block. So the pump is in there. So the PWM fan connector here. It is of course impossible for you guys to see this, but I will. Yeah, it's also impossible to with this. Okay. But I will plug it onto the pump fan header on the motherboard. So not the CPU fan header, because that's where the other plug with the 3 fans on the radiator will go to. And then I will also plug in the addressable.
Who needs DDR5? I'm waiting to switch to Cam 2.
Cam 2 is definitely nice, but it is still a little bit further away for the mass market, I would say. So I also plug in the addressable RGB on that header.
If a mini ITX Project Zero would come out, would you?
I would definitely consider that.
Oh, okay.
But the thing is, my mini ITX cases are so small that
it's a sandwich case, right?
Yeah, so behind the motherboard tray would become a huge challenge in that situation.
Yeah.
Because now, if, for example, you use a 7-liter case, you would never have enough space to have the cable stick out from the back. Because of course you do need a little bit of clearance for that. Then we have 2 8-pin power connectors for the CPU. Those also go directly into the motherboard. At the very top in this case.
We will show you what it looks like after he finishes.
Oh, at the back we can just leave it as one big mess, because we will basically hide everything with the hinge doors and with the motherboard on the other side.
The days of cable managing are over.
Yeah. See, there you go. HD audio connector. That one is also just in a corner of the motherboard. And that one has...
This is maggot and Eric friendly.
It should be, yeah. And there we go. So the front panel audio also works. And then I think this is a very nice connector because it's the combined connector for the JFP1. So that's basically the bundled connector for the power.
Oh, side connectors.
Yeah, for the power button, for the reset button, or the LED button, and the LEDs for the power LED and the
once we have
LED.
wireless PSU, we will be in PC Nirvana. How will we have wireless PSUs?
Well, in the past we always joked about wireless power, but now a lot of people use QI charging on their phones as well, which is essentially also wireless power. So we make fun of things right now that in the future will definitely exist. I'm also going to plug in the PWM header from the hub to the motherboard, so that way you can control the PWM signal from there as well.
Man, you're making me more curious about the future. What things will...
No, we can't even imagine what will all be in there in the future. I will also connect the 3-pin addressable RGB header from the hub to the motherboard.
It would be cool if there was just one singular cable that would power the entire motherboard.
That would indeed be cool.
But that would be too hot, right?
Depends on what kind of cable you have exactly, because if, for example, you have the 12 plus 4-pin power connector for graphics cards nowadays, they can go up to 600 watts through a very tiny connector, so that's not entirely impossible, I would say.
Ooh.
Now I need to follow this cable and see where it leads me. There we go. Okay, and then I will plug the SATA back into the hub, so that one is also powered. So, as you can see, one big cable mess, but we're just going to close the door later on. I think I connected everything. RGB, fan header, HD audio, JFP1. No, one more thing to connect, Monkey. The fans for the liquid cooler on your side, if you can push them through again to my side.
Do you want to go it through the side or?
No, I want to go here. And this one, of course, very nicely bundled. So we have a single PWM header for all 3 fans. That one I will put on the CPU fan header. So you also get the correct controls in your BIOS. So the CPU fan there is actually the CPU fan. And then I'm gonna link the RGB from the fans in this case to the additional male connector that comes from the RGB cable from the CPU block. That's it. There we go. So as you can see, cable management looks terrible. That's why we have a door. We just push it away. We close it, put it in here, and you just screw it, and it's gone. And you close this door, and even more is gone. There we go. Then we're going to move to the front, and we're going to put the graphics card in.
Okay. You just want to put it on its back?
Yeah.
Whee!
And then we need to do some peeling as well.
Here you go.
Before I put in the graphics card, let me first take the 3 brackets out.
Of course.
From the back. always check which ones they are, because it doesn't always start with the first one. In this case, I need 3. If you look at my graphics card, then you see it is 3 slots. There is an SSD M.2 slot here, so the first bracket is actually in front of that one. So I take out the second, the third, and the fourth. Just very simply take them out. Indiana Roy says that door is magic. It definitely is. It solves all your cable management problems. Just close the door and pretend like it has never happened. Okay, that one is open. And we put the graphics card in, click it in, screw it in. Okay, you're very good at being in the way with your camera.
But they have a perfect shot.
That's true, that's true.
Maybe I should put this on a gimbal.
There we go. And the third screw at the top. Then we have a choice to make. Do we want to have this cable below the graphics card, or do we want to have it over the graphics card? Chat, you can decide. What do you prefer? Below, at the bottom, or on top, over? And this is a preference thing. I've seen many people doing it in different ways. It doesn't really matter. Under, bottom, above. See, you always get mixed opinions on this.
Yeah,
Below,
but we see bottom, under more often. Yeah.
under, under, below. Okay. More people say under. So that's what we're going to go with. At the top of this connector, you have the 4 sense pins. Always align those with the 4 pins that you see right there. Then you just press it in and make sure that the yellow has completely disappeared. So that you don't see any yellow anymore. Then you know it is in properly. I'm going to push this cable back a little bit into the motherboard tray so we don't have a lot of excess cable here.
Gigaram, I hope you recover soon.
Yeah, the
What did
Bone
Gigaram have?
marrow biopsy.
Oh, get well soon, Gigaram. Get well soon. Market, I'm gonna take the camera from you because I have a very special assignment.
And that is?
You can do the peeling.
Oh!
The best part is all yours. Oh, you're gonna ASMR it as well.
Oh yeah.
So you can peel the block on the infinity mirror. There is some peeling to do.
Okay, from where do I?
Yeah, first you need to find an edge to peel.
Okay, I hear something here.
Me too. That sounds like peelable plastic. There's always the best part of the live stream, right? To peel stuff. Come on, kid, you can do this. We believe.
Do I have a tweezer?
We believe. Yes, there you go.
Oh, okay. It's better to do it from this side. Okay, wait.
You're very serious about your peel. There we go.
Oh,
Look how shiny it is.
it is shiny.
Now it is. No fingerprints
See, you
on
can
there
see
just
my
yet.
face.
You can see the phone camera. You see, it is so shiny that the camera got stuck.
Wait! I got some peels left here.
Oh, more
On the
peels.
fans, on the fans.
Oh, more peels on the fans. Ah, yeah. Okay. Nice. Nice.
Nice. Oh wait, and also the front panels.
Yep, and later on the side panel too. Now don't touch it anymore because now we'll get fingerprints.
Oh right, I should have put the front panel on first. Wait. Beginner's mistake.
Well, the beginner's mistake is to put all the panels on before you've tested it. That would be the beginner's mistake.
So what do you want me to do now? Turn
just
it on?
peel it. No, you're already peeling. Let's
Wait, but-
continue peeling.
Okay.
Now we're in such a nice ASMR peeling session.
Ooh,
Yeah, good peel.
not sure. This does not have a peeling sound.
But was it satisfying to
It
peel
was satisfying,
Okay.
but it was not appealing.
I like that one.
Where's
Can we
the-
switch to the main cam again? Then I will get you your panels.
Yeah.
Okay, you can put it up straight. Then you can maybe plug it in and see if it works.
Yeah.
Or if it explodes. Or if we have any interesting rattles in there.
Come on. No,
we
no,
have
that,
if
that
we
was
have a
not the
screaming
best
liquid
peel, I know, but the sound was satisfying enough. Okay.
Oh, you already broke it. That's always when we. That's something with our capture card. As soon as we plug in a power connector, then for some reason our
Okay.
capture
I'll
card
let
goes.
you press the button.
It is in a very different location for me. Somewhere here. And everything is broken.
Of course it works.
We don't know yet. I still have to see.
We
if,
don't need a MSI
we get
GPU
an
holder for
image.
this one.
So if you go to the capture, then we can see if it actually works.
Oh, I have not.
Yeah, if you don't plug in the capture, then it won't. At the moment, it also doesn't have. Oh, you didn't plug anything into the graphics card.
Oh, I thought you just wanted to boot the thing.
Yeah, it would boot without putting a screen or a capture card in, but
I don't even know what this USB is, but
you're gonna plug it in anyway.
yep.
Okay.
Capture.
Does it work? Oh, it does. So now you can safely put the rest on. So I will hand you over your panels. So my kit, here's the top panel.
Let's see. This one.
Let's
is-
maybe go to the main one again, so we can
Oh, yeah.
properly see. So that one works with 2 thumb screws. You need to slide it in properly. Yeah, I
Is
think
it-
you have it in properly. I think it should be fine.
Is it in?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, and then you can screw it in.
Ooh, nice airflow.
And here we have some more peeling to do for my kit later on. But let's first install it
Yep.
onto the computer, and I will do the back panel
so
as well.
this one would go this side, of course.
There we go. So I will move to this side, so I can.
Let's see if I
Let's switch to your other camera.
detail.
No, I have the mobile one
Oh,
right here,
right.
so we can do a real intense peel. Yes, there we are. Okay, guys, are you ready? The peel of all peels.
No, there's no sound.
Whoa! This is where you press the technical difficulties one.
Hey, you know what?
This was definitely the peel of all peels. Look where you threw the chat.
Guys.
Guys, you missed the peel now. Okay, maybe you can show it on top of the camera now. It was a good peel. Chad, are you still there? Are you still there? Still alive? Sorry we dropped you. But Monkit was so serious about his peeling that he knocked you guys on
Oh
the ground.
man.
Okay, we're back. We're back.
Sometimes I don't know my own strength.
Oh, nice. But all good?
And
Are you
work-
guys all okay after that fall?
And I work at MSI.
All good, all good. Then let's move it a little bit. And maybe let's
Ooh.
play some video
I
games.
like this one. I like this one. I like the front. So it has RGB.
Of course.
Wait, can I go back to? Wait a minute. Cancel. This part also glows. I like
Also
this.
RGB.
Subtle but nice.
Londog says, I feel like I bumped my head. Yeah, I can definitely
And this is what it looks like.
understand why.
Ooh. 0 cables. Well, except for this one, but.
And if you look properly from the CPU block.
Oh my
there is
god,
a
it's an infinite mirror!
But this is indeed what it looks like. The infinity mirror. So, Chat, what do you think?
Well, that was an Eric moment.
It sure was.
Hey, I didn't break anything, so technically it's
Maybe
still,
your own phone, but other than that, it's
technically
should be-
it's still
should
not
be
an Eric moment.
Let me toss this
We
one
can show it more like
aside,
this.
and maybe we need to plug in a keyboard and mouse so we can actually use it. It's a good idea, right?
Yep.
Let me plug this in here.
Whew, thank God we didn't drop the panel. But we could have tested if it breaks or not. But then again, I remember you telling me you did a stream where you actually tried to break it.
Yeah.
And
If you
it
guys are interested in how strong tempered glass is, check that stream out. Did I actually switch off the monitor using that cable? Or did I just unplug it?
You know, the case already, like with RGB, already looks this flashy or like
Okay,
this
I just
nice,
unplugged
and like with lights on. So you can imagine what it looks like if you turn the lights off.
Hey, this screams
or have better
screams
lighting.
for a test. Okay, let's fix that. So,
Okay.
what do you think?
Because of the green screen, it looks weird sometimes, but
We can quickly switch the green screen off.
Leave it like that. No, leave it like that. Let me show the mobile view. Yeah.
People may be hearing slight echo here. Let me quickly fix that. There we go. So, Chad, what do you think? Does it look good? We didn't sync up all the RGB yet, but
No.
I hope you still like it. So the graphics card is doing red. Carl's washed out. That's true. Let's go to the main cam, Monkit. I will fix the green screen. Okay, so it's definitely not fixed right now. But I can switch off the chroma key function. There we go. So now without the chroma key, so the green will actually be green. So Chad, what do you think? Do you like these kind of builds? The whole chat went silent when you turned off the light.
They're like, oh.
Let's hope they don't drool too much over their keyboards. They're usually not waterproof.
And Christmas is coming.
Oh,
Don't talk about Christmas, because Mike loves
yeah,
Christmas.
it's time for Mariah Carey.
Ah.
Some All I Want for Christmas karaoke.
Oh, maybe we can add my bottle. Wait. Wait.
Can you sync it up, Monkit?
Wait. Ah.
Nice.
Rainbow.
That's a real gamer moment. Okay, then I'm gonna switch the lights back on again.
Yep.
And we're back. Look, our nice green screen. So let me also fix that for you.
Guys,
There
it's
we go.
fake. The background is fake.
No, it's all real. We never fake anything. There we go.
Oh, no. You're not going to like this, Mike. Mariah is overrated.
Who says that? Do we have a ban key? My goodness. Beantown.
Let me ban this guy.
How dare you call Mariah overrated? Okay. Well, it is a game PC, so let's do some gaming. I have a nice matching white game controller. Let me quickly fix this a little bit so it does look at least half decent. There we go. Can you still see me in between? Yeah, should be.
Yeah.
Somewhere here. Should be fine, right? Hello, system. Are you awake? Or did I accidentally unplug something? Do you still have an image on the cap? Oh, you do.
Yeah,
you
we do.
Then I think I accidentally unplugged the monitor.
When is there a giveaway? Don't worry. We'll be giving away,
Oh, whoops. That was the wrong key.
I think 2 more codes before the end of the stream.
Oh, I'm blocking it. Am I on duplicate? I cannot see it. Chat, is this duplicate? Please let me know. Because this is
duplicate.
it is duplicate. Okay. Then I think I just switched off my monitor accidentally.
You just have to push the red button.
I don't think I did.
Yeah, it should work now. It will not fall off the ground. It's too heavy.
Yeah, it will not just fall. Yes, now I can see something too.
Is it just me or is there a lot of Unreal?
We did a live
Oh,
stream
yeah.
about this with
Unreal
all the
Engine,
Unreal Engine 5 stuff.
It just makes me think of Unreal Tournament, that's why.
We definitely did use this SSD for that and this installation. If you're curious about that live stream, you can still, of course, view it back on YouTube.
So
but we're going to use the Epic Games.
What are you going to play?
Well, we're a little bit short on time, so I'll do a quick game of Rocket League, because that only takes like 5 minutes, and then we can at least check if it plays well, because that's an important thing.
Sounds good, sounds good.
Maybe, Monkit, you can do another giveaway
Yeah,
for
of
another
course.
game code for Star Wars Outlaws.
Specs,
Oh,
you can
I'll
see the
minimize.
specs on that, no, that side. The spec card in the middle.
Yeah.
I forgot that my hand gets cut off here, so.
Yeah, that looks interesting. Hello, controller? Are we there?
All right, let's see.
I do hear
Drum
that
roll.
it is time for custom fan profiles.
Let's see, drum roll. Let me draw one winner.
And who is going to be the winner?
Winner is.
Oh,
E.
Equa! Congratulations! You also won a game
Congratulations.
code for Star Wars Outlaws. So please keep an eye out on your mailbox. Then we will email the code to you in the coming days with some instructions on how to redeem it. Congratulations!
Somebody said Unreal Tournament is my game.
Unreal Tournament is so good, especially Unreal Tournament 99, the original one.
It was so
Game of the
good.
Year
Not,
edition.
not when I play against this guy.
It was very nice, wasn't
No,
it?
no.
You
it
didn't
wasn't.
like it?
No.
Such a good game.
No,
Like,
no.
Insta-give game mode. Oh,
I love the game. Just don't like playing against you.
Why not? It's a lot of
I get
fun.
wrecked.
You need to practice.
No. No, I got too many other games to play.
Yeah, I used to play a lot of Unreal Tournament in the past. I really liked.
I used to play. What did I used to play?
What did you used to
Age
play?
of Empires.
Age of Empires 2.
Red Alert.
I do Red Alert 2. I
Yeah.
also 1 and 2 I played.
Yeah.
3 wasn't my cup of tea.
No, not really.
But that was the same for Unreal Tournament. I still like
Yeah.
the original version best, 99.
I've recently finished Age of Mythology Retold, so the reworked version.
It takes such a long time to find a game.
Oh, Diablo 2. Such a good one. Well, not Diablo 1. Never played Diablo 1, but I did play Diablo 2.
I've never been a Diablo kind of guy. Like my attention span is not sufficient enough.
Oh man, you don't know how many hours I spent grinding, finding the perfect gear. Oh,
But you also play like World of Warcraft and stuff like
oh
that,
we
right?
lost the signal.
We lost
Oh.
signal?
No, never mind.
We're
Yeah,
back?
I used
We're all
to
good?
play World of Warcraft. I'm still thinking of, well, now that I finished Age of Mythology Retold, I'm going to play Black Myth Wukong. And after
Okay,
that,
one quick game of Rocket League. Let's see if our opponents are any good.
I'm actually going to play Warhammer and Black Myth Wukong.
Look, my kid. Now you have to cheer. I just scored. Come on. Thank you. Thank you. Do we have any Rocket League hooligans here? in the
Sorry for the guys that that are becoming deaf because of me.
chat? Oh, I was expecting my mate to go, but apparently they didn't. Oh, thanks, mate. Oh, what are my teammates doing?
Is this online versus real people or?
Yeah, it
Oh.
actually is. Maybe not the most experienced people because this is a new account. Look, he
Oh.
saved it. Or basically, I just shot it into him.
Yeah,
That wasn't a miss, that was a fake.
We're getting Space Marine 2. I'm
Oh,
still
look, they're gonna
in
score.
the-
Oh,
Oh no, I'm still in the
1-0.
tutorial.
the talent on our opponent's team is amazing.
Oh,
Now 1-0. Okay, we got this team. Amir, we believe you can. Okay, Amir's not going to take the kickoff.
I don't know. I used to play Diablo 4, but no. No, not anymore.
What is my teammate doing? He's upside down.
You're playing preschoolers. All the good players are in class.
So goalie's gone.
I would think that class is already over around this time.
It depends where in the world. But I think these are should be European servers.
Mhm.
Oh, I actually missed that.
Oh!
Okay, let's do it like that. There we go. 2-1. We need more support, man, kid. More support.
Why did you not use the vertical mount?
Well, actually, we used an engineering sample that didn't
Yeah.
come with a virtual mount. Of course, the retail sample does, but I only have the regular mount right now. Also, by default, it doesn't come with a riser cable. Of course, that has to do with this segment. With the higher end models, that's something is usually included. But at this price point, it would make the case a lot more expensive. So that's why we decided to sell those separately. Come on.
Well,
bot,
this
go
is
away.
my Champions League. Did they finish building the PC? Yes, we finished.
We did. It's actually working. We can actually play video games on it now.
Look at the FPS right there, 700.
In Rocket League. Oh, thanks, opponent.
Woo!
3-1. We got this. We got this. Oh, I took a coffee break during the building process. How dare you? Oh, I didn't hit the ball, but at least I hit the player. I want that.
So what are those golden orbs or?
That's boost.
Oh.
So in the bottom right, I'm right in front of it, but you see basically my boost meter. It's currently at 100%.
Shh, Skeets, not everybody knows that. Shh. Woo! 4-1!
Yes, kids, we could technically run this on the integrated graphics probably.
Yeah.
But I was just searching for a game that we could quickly jump into and just takes a couple of minutes because it's already relatively late, so we don't have too much time left.
Oh!
5-1, yeah.
Not even
Skull is
1K.
disappointed, not even 1K FPS. I'm sorry, we let you down. But we're only running a 4070 Ti, like it's not a 4090.
This is on 4K though.
Is it?
This screen is 4K.
Oh, it's 4K?
Yeah, yeah.
Did I actually set it to 4K too? Oh, I didn't touch it.
Rush hour
sharp.
was about.
Oh, damn.
It ends in about like. No, well, rush hour would end about now, right?
What time is it?
6? Yeah, I think it ends
In half
about-
an hour approximately, here in the Netherlands at least.
Yeah. It also depends where you live in the
Yeah.
Netherlands.
Around
because-
Amsterdam it will take a little bit
Yeah.
longer.
But like for me, I do not live near like any big cities. I live more near the border of Germany. So for me, rush hour will be over by now, I think. Yeah.
Now I'm actually playing with 2 bots because my teammates, they just left me.
They left
They left me.
a winning match.
Yeah, that
Man.
mostly has to do with the quality of the opponent, or
Says,
the lack thereof.
it's okay. You got this.
Easy. Oh, we can still. Oh,
Oh,
I faked it.
that was a pre-cheer.
Oh. He
Yeah.
already counted it and it was not in.
Regional, no.
Let's just see what happens. It's just interesting to see the bots go.
Are the border checks back? Well,
Yeah, Germany is going to do border
yeah,
checks, right?
They already started doing
Oh,
that.
they already started.
But I wouldn't say I live like really close to the German border. It's more like I think like 20 minutes away. Okay, that's actually quite close. Never
That
mind.
is quite close.
20 to 30 minutes. But yeah, for me it's all highway. Yeah.
Yeah, it is quite.
It's just
no,
1
he did not.
hour of the highway, so I just turn on cruise control and I just turn like on a podcast or the radio or music, but I'm getting tired a little bit of my playlist.
Podcast about what topic, okay?
Everything. All types of stuff. Actually, it sounds weird,
Okay,
but
Bob,
I'm also
go
learning
away.
Mandarin in the car. Yeah.
So you're practicing sentences while
Yeah.
driving.
Yeah. So as you guys might know, I am Chinese, but I do not speak Mandarin. I speak a different dialect. I speak Cantonese. So there are some similarities. So it's a little bit easier for me to learn.
Oh, apparently I scored. I didn't see exactly what happened. And it was definitely not me shooting at the goal here.
The speed limit on the highway is 100 kilometers per hour
During the day, yeah.
during the day. But after 7 p.m., you are allowed to go to 120.
Depending on where, but yeah, in some examples.
You can go 130.
Yeah, you can go 130.
So in the rows that I'm taking, it's like 40% is like 130, and then the rest is 120.
Oh, the score is 7-1. Do you guys remember that match, Germany against Brazil? What year was it again? At the World Cup. I think it was like the semi-finals even. Oh, the bot almost scored.
Ooh.
That was also 7-1. Was indeed also a massacre.
Oh.
Okay, can we do one more?
Oh.
Can we do one more? Oh! No!
Oh.
So close yet so far away!
But you won. Woo!
Yeah. If you did some more cheering, I would have scored.
What, you want me to put on the cheerleader outfit?
Of course.
Guys, give me a moment. Be right back.
We don't need a replay. So, shall we call it a day? Maybe do one more winner. A final winner for today.
Okay.
And then you can talk about next week's topic. That you don't have yet, my kid.
Oh, we don't.
No, because next week is still to be
Pending.
determined.
Yeah. But like some people already said, those are the best.
By the way, my kid, we have a problem and we need to solve it.
Which is?
Can I get your close-up cam? Can you switch to the close-up cam? Because we forgot one very important aspect of this build, and I didn't notice until now. So, guys, do you see this? It's the MAG logo, and it has another peel on it. And my kid just skipped that one. Fix it, please, my kid. You can do it. We believe. The final peel. Don't knock Chet out this time, okay?
Okay. I can hear the peel, but I can't feel it.
Come on, my kid. I do need to set a custom fan profile, by the way.
Oh my god. What the?
Is this such a difficult peel?
Yeah.
You have it?
Yeah, I don't want to scratch the...
No, you need to peel it, not scratch it.
Oh my
okay,
god.
Chad, this stream is gonna last another hour.
This is such a fill peel.
Oh, you really disappoint me with this peel. This is such an unsatisfying peel, my kid. Oh, there we go. At least the sound was
So
good.
unsatisfying.
Look, your peel was so poor that I even see some residue here. That's better, that's better. Okay, there we go. Shiny MAG logo, MSI Arsenal Gaming. I hope Chad approves.
I want to put some lotion on my hands, but at the same time...
Can we go back to the main one?
I'm afraid to actually make the glass and everything dirty.
Okay, our last winner.
And
then don't forget the next week, so everyone knows that one is still to be determined.
Wait. Wait, when did I pull this one? No, not this. Huh?
You drew another winner?
Have we already announced this winner? No, right? Did I just pull two, but I forgot?
Then this is going to be our next winner. T0 or Toto, congratulations. You also win a game code for Star Wars Outlaws. Then
Congratulations.
Congrats again to all winners. Please keep an eye on our mailbox. We'll email the codes to you in the coming days with some instructions on how to redeem it. That was it for today. We hope to see you all again next week, same place, same time, with, of course, a very exciting topic. It's just unknown yet what it will be. We hope you liked the products that we've shown you today, the new CoreLiquid I Series, the new Peno 100 series. We hope you also like the build that we did with it. And
don't worry, Skeets, there are tons of Star Wars Outlaws codes to give away. So
there will be more in future streams if you didn't win
So just
today.
keep coming, and maybe you'll have a chance of winning. Well, I mean, you have a chance of winning, but maybe you'll win it.
Yeah. Then thanks everyone.
Mankit or Eric, and I'm in. Okay, I'll
for next week.
That. Yeah, I'll remember that.
It definitely won't be me, but maybe my kid won't be there.
I'm
gone next week.
Might be me, yeah. Might be me with Eric, actually.
Oh, stuff is gonna break. Then you should definitely be here, Chad.
Might be me with Eric, yeah. So definitely tune in.
Thank you so much for watching, and then see you again next week.
Have a nice day, guys. Bye-bye.